Well, hi, Mr. Foreman. My name is Shanique with Afrotech. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure, it's an honor really to sit here and chat with you. And first things first, I want to know, I love how the film sets the foundation of who George Foreman is. Can you tell me how your upbringing played a role in the way that you handled fame and success at such a young age?
Boy, you talk about miraculous. My life has been a miracle. And I watched the movie and it really became apparent that how in the world did I achieve so much without anything? I started from the bottom and I looked at the movie and sometimes you go through life worrying about income tax, how much money you're gonna make, how many bills to pay, and you forget where we really have come from. And that movie brought it alive for me. It was a good thing for me to see.
Absolutely. And we witnessed you experience quite a few wake up calls throughout the film. But tell me about the moment that you realized that your money was being mishandled or mismanaged.
You work so hard to have wealth. The old saying is to live happily ever after, and then to come to find out that people I trusted had done away with some of my wealth. I'd lost a lot, and there I was out there with nothing again. That was scary. You wake up one morning, and they said middle age. That was like the end of my age, and I didn't have anything, but I had such responsibilities, and I'm so happy I was able to get back into boxing because so many people were counting on me.
Yeah, and not only does it translate physically with your boxing career, but also mentally too, you're a fighter, because you had the ultimate comeback story. And so can you tell me, when you had that comeback and you got back up again, how did you handle things differently in your career?
Well, the first time, all I had was fight, 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 vengeance and anger. And when I found religion, I found God, I found Jesus Christ, I lost all of that. And for 10 years, I didn't know how to box. I never made a fist for 10 years. Well, then all of a sudden, teaching young kids at a youth center how to never a punch in anger, they taught me too. I could actually get back into boxing and learn how to box again without anger and become number one contender and champion of the world. That was wonderful.
Yeah, and one thing I have to talk about it is the infamous George Foreman girls, because I grew up with those. And we did a report about how one time you made like 8 million in 1 month. What led to that infamous deal, and did you have any notion that it was going to blow up the way that it did?
It did not. I first tried the George from the grill, and it wasn't as beautiful as it had turned out to be. It actually moved the grease out of your food. I needed protein, but I didn't need all that grease. And the grill was successful. I thought maybe I'd sell 16 of them, one for my mom, or a couple for my aunt, and then into training camp. I had no idea. I looked up, and over 120 million of those things were sold. I didn't know it was going to be such a success, and it was successful because it worked. Few things you buy that work, the grill worked.
And they last a long time. Like, I still have a George Foreman grill now that I'm out of my parents' home. So
that was the trouble with the grills. They keep lasting. Nobody would need to buy another.
no, that's so true. And it's just a testament to your career as well. Just durable and keep going. And another thing that I love about this is that it's a story about perseverance and coming back when you've been counted out. So speak to me a little bit about the success that you've experienced today that showed you that all the struggles, every moment was worth it.
Oh boy. And you think, and I learned most important, it doesn't matter what people say about you, people think about you, it's what we think about ourselves and what you say about yourselves. I would look in the mirror and I said, well, they're saying all those things, but what do you think about it? I kept fighting. And anyone is interested in fighting, you can achieve and accomplish anything you want. This is the home in the United States of the second, third, even fourth chance. You can get another chance if you're willing to fight.
Yeah. And, again, that success was hard earned, and it was hard earned after everything was taken from you. But can you talk about just building it back? And another thing that really struck out to me is because sometimes I have crazy faith, right? Can you talk a little bit about having that crazy faith in your life has just led to this beautiful story?
Boy, What I really have to be truthful about, there were a lot of people in my life that never gave up on me. A lot of times I wanted to go down and stay for the count, but there were other people saying, "Get up, George, get up." And they helped me make it from the time I was a teenager until I became the heavyweight champ of the world the second time. Doc Brodus, the coach, Forrest Whitaker plays him, and my dear wife, she never gave up on me, even dropping me off 15 miles away from home. So you'll make it back.
Yeah, and it's so important to have those mentors and people guiding you along the way. And speaking of guidance, another thing, I keep saying it, but another thing that I love about this film is that you're here to experience it. You know, you're here to tell your own story. So what was it like working with Chris or having that conversation with Chris to kind of bring you to life on the big screen?
That's great, because most great stories you read or hear or see about people, they've passed on. I was able to not only watch the movie, enjoy it, and still be alive. And that Chris Davis, boy, what an actor! He didn't do an imitation of George Foreman. He did the George Foreman to the point where I was out there watching and liking it. For the first time, you liked every part of your life. Chris Davis brought it alive on the screen. What an actor!
Yeah, and just lastly, I just want to talk in terms of legacy. When it's all said and done, who do you want the world to know George Foreman as?
Well, the movie is not even about me, so to speak, George Foreman. It's about what life can do for you. Yesterday, doesn't matter how many times you've been knocked down, you can get up. The movie tells the story about getting up, believing in yourself, but importantly, believing in God. And there's always another chance. That's what I want people to leave the movie theater thinking, if he can do that, I can easily do what I got to do.
Yes, and then for real, my last question is, I know you still preach today, but my favorite scene was that pivotal scene when, you know, you had that realization from God. How did that change your life, like from then moving forward, and how you operate today?
Yeah, I had a lot of strength in my first career. I could really punch. But then I found faith in God. I realized I could do anything, and there would never be a punch in anger. So I could stay in boxing until I couldn't even walk anymore. That's how long. But finding faith in God, it really taught me a lot, that it doesn't matter what you have, there's something better once you find faith in God, and that's your faith.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Foreman.
Thank you.
Again, it was an honor to chat with you.